We could have had something special with this story. It could have been a book about female empowerment. For real. For once. Evie Porter was some sort of Natasha Romanoff / Black Widow shit. She's the perfect super weapon that can use her sex appeal to manipulate men. We could have followed her character as she went from strength to strength. But unfortunately, we didn't get that at all. It was another good idea, but poorly done. It was a waste of time. I just want an author to be ballsy, take some risks and just tell us a good story without the cheesy flashbacks. Give us some creativity. Is that too much to ask for, Joseph?
Apparently too much to ask.
Is that too much to ask for?
Apparently. You said
what did you think?
Everything that I was thinking, you said it.
What did you think?
Everything you was thinking.
Pause this video right now. Go and read First Live Wins by
Ashley Elton. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway. His name's Douchebag.
And his name's Dickhead.
And welcome to the Ashton Library. Is that how it works?
I mean, apparently that's how it works now, since you decided that.
Okay, cool. So, what did you think of the book? Was it worth reading? I don't regret reading. I don't regret. Oh, what? So you regret reading it?
I don't think it was worth reading. I don't regret reading it, obviously. Because it's
so what you think is two different questions then?
I don't think it was worth reading. I don't feel like my life has been enriched by reading that book.
Yeah, but now you've added another question.
I know.
I would love to explore these questions with you, but we can't.
Really
we just can't.
Time.
We
ain't got battery.
Yeah,
we don't have time or battery.
So you don't think it was worth reading, but you don't regret reading it.
I don't regret reading it, and this is why I feel like it's a different question, because obviously we read the books for the channel. Do you see what I'm saying? And we read books so that we can talk about them, not to enrich our lives. But if you were asking me my personal, do I feel like my life was enriched, or like did I gain any personal enjoyment? Like I could watch X-Men and gain some personal enjoyment from it. My life wouldn't be enriched, but I would gain something.
Rather watch porn.
Mia Khalifa, yeah. I don't feel like I gained anything from reading this book, really. I feel like there was, like you said in your intro,
moments of creativity
of creativity. So, like you said in your intro,
I feel like there was idea behind it.
There was avenues this book could have gone down.
I wish I was the editor. If I was the editor of this book,
I wish I was the author. I feel like it was an extremely. Look, it was an idea that I was like, I'm not even gonna say it was an extremely creative, unique idea. It's not a unique idea. Like you said, Black Widow.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, it's not a unique idea, but it's an idea.
It's still different to a certain extent, and it could have been interesting.
When people watch stuff, it's like, we've read how much romance books, right? And the people who read romance books, they read the same stuff. So they finish a book and they, whoa, so good. I want my same fix from the same kind of. They want to read something similar. So this is an idea that a lot of people would have subscribed to if it was executed in a different way. And I feel like the way it was executed in the worst possible way.
Worst way. I mean, I feel like you don't even have, like, the way the story was, it doesn't take a genius to get this one right.
Like you like to say, your favourite saying, it was a tap-in.
It was a tap-in. The idea was so... The thing is, it's not 100% different, but it was different enough.
The idea sold me the book.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Execution made me want to ask for a refund. Let me go into my first point, because I believe I have one more than you. I believe I have at least 5. I've got 2 more than you then, plus I've 2.5 more than you. Evie Porter is a honeypot. You know, the girl that they send in to seduce James Bond so he lets his guard down right before he gets done in. Evie Porter is dating Ryan Sumner, a wealthy guy with wealthy parents from a small town in Louisiana. But Evie Porter does not really exist. She has no residence, no family or friends. She is, for all intents and purposes, a ghost. I think this plotline was interesting, but the only issue I had was that I wanted it to be a bit clearer who or what Evie actually is earlier on. We're a few chapters in, and when I wrote this, it was like 7 chapters in, by the way, and we have no idea where she's from or what she wants. Is she working for the government? Is Ryan a secret terrorist hiding a stash of weapons-grade plutonium in his basement? And if he isn't, why isn't he? That would be a much better book than whatever this is. So I felt like, look, I have no issue with the whole, you know, like you said, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, she's a spy, she's being
Yeah,
sent into. We love that type of stuff. But we know who she is going in. We know what her mission parameters are. We know what assignment is.
I don't necessarily dislike the level of mystery. I don't have a problem with that. But what I have a problem with is the needless flashbacks. Give us a story and let us and you know, spoon feed us information. No problem. But all this chopping and changing and flipping and flopping and, you know, we didn't need that sort of thing.
Yinging and yanging.
Yeah. We didn't need that. So yeah, I also had a problem in the beginning. I didn't really understand what was going on, but yeah. Right off the bat, I'm loving the book. The main character, Evie, is obviously up to some dodgy covert business with her boyfriend that she's moving in with. I can't remember how we knew she was up to no good.
It's because she was like,
emptying how they no. It was how they met. It was how they met scene. He was her target. So she made herself out to be the damsel in distress. Oh, please, kind sir, help me with my tyre. I need to change my tyre. Yeah. So from that was going on, we knew some fuckery was going on.
And bro, imagine in that chapter, remember his parents, or was it his neighbours? I don't remember who it was. It was having like a garden party. And they was like, you know, he probably faked it or whatever so that he could meet you. And she was like, yeah, how ridiculous would that be? Ha ha ha. And then she was like, how ridiculous would it be if somebody knew that he went to that petrol station every weekend, you know? How ridiculous would it be if somebody knew that he likes to go to the right-hand side of where? And she was just saying bare things that made it...
she said that.
Yeah, in the book, like, she made it clear from chapter 1 that she targeted this guy, you know.
Oh, I don't remember that bit.
She made him her mark. And, like, she wore a short skirt because she knew, you know, his eyes were always lingering on...
Yeah, no, I remember that
She would have got me.
Yeah, his eyes lingered just a bit long. But yeah... There was a scene in the first couple of chapters where Evie was in the process of moving in and Ryan proudly announced it to the neighbours who were watching the whole thing. Ryan said, "Meet my girlfriend, Evie. As you can see, she's moving in." And the cheeky old farts that live next door said, "You young people obviously skip some very important steps these days."
That was peak.
My question is, why are old people so brazen?
Bro,
to say that to somebody's face. You know, you'd think with all the experience they have with social situations, they would have some bumbleclot manners. If I was Ryan, I would have turned to my girlfriend and I would say, "Oh, sorry, if you don't mind them, they get grumpy when it's time for a nappy change."
Do you know what I mean?
Nah, these man
dead.
have no chill.
Nah, none at all. She'd laughing in their face, you know.
Skip some important steps, obviously, for cause.
Do you know what I mean? You know what they were saying. You know that's what they were saying.
When they went back inside.
Yeah, you know that's what they were saying. And then he was like, we might do them in the wrong order, but we're going to get all of them, or whatever. But I was like...
That was a salvage. It was a salvage.
It was an attempt at a salvage. Because he destroyed you there. Like, bro, it's like, I don't know what to do in that sentence because they're old people, innit?
Exactly. What are you gonna do? Slap him?
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's not really anything you can do. This is why you're not supposed to hang out with old people.
Yeah, no.
We should put them down.
This is what happens when these men know they're on their way out. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Let me say everything I want to say. Let me say it because it ain't gonna be long.
But yeah, no, it was a good bit of writing there. I gave it to the author for that. I mean, for that at least.
Yeah, no, that made me, you know, crease up my face. So I was like, Jesus, how do you say that?
Dare you?
Literally, it's
I don't even know you.
Outrageous.
Literally called this girl a whore to her face.
Bro,
you know?
you're a whore lover. I called you a whore lover as well. She called him a simp and called her a whore.
Yeah.
So clapped us both up in one go. At a house party, Evie meets a girl called Luca Marino, a girl from Eden, North Carolina, whose mother died of breast cancer. There's only one problem. It is Evie who is from Eden, North Carolina. It is Evie whose mother died of breast cancer. It is Evie whose real name is Luca Marino. Whoever this girl is, she's dangerous. She knows the very thing Evie has worked so hard to bury. She knows who Evie is. It's a quick fix, of course. She just kill her. Clearly, this girl is threatening Evie, and I'm a firm believer that the only way to avoid being blackmailed, is to bite the bullet and let them expose you or to kill them. Now, you know, she's some, you know, Black Widow level con artist agent that, you know, goes undercover to kill her. The hell? End of story. It's the end of the problem. Literally just kill her. No one's going to miss her. drown her, whatever. I didn't understand
That's not that type of book. Remember, she doesn't really have any combat skills.
She doesn't have any combat skills. She doesn't
really have anything.
I was about to say she doesn't have any skills, but
we still like her for some reason.
For some reason,
yeah.
we're always supposed to like the female main.
Yeah, of
character,
course.
You know?
I like females, main characters. But yeah, this book is very mysterious. I'll give it that. It's been boring for the most part until she got arrested. So Evie believes that her boss, Mr. Smith, is the one that's trying to set her up. But surely if she believes that, why doesn't she just cut? Just leave.
Yeah, fact.
Just disappear. There's no compelling reason why she's going along with this. I can't work it out.
Apparently, I read some reviews about the book and it was like, because she hasn't got money. And like, he's the only one paying her or whatever.
Well, first and foremost, she was getting these lump sum payments from stealing the painting, from doing these other things. And then she's got Ryan, who's also seeming to be rich.
Or wealthy, enough to look after her anyways.
I genuinely think this book could have been something special without the stupid flashbacks. If we had just had the story start in the beginning, with Evie's first failed card scam, then she gets picked up by Mr. Smith, then she does her cleverness where she switches the mark with the politicians, how she got Andrew, one of the politicians, in her pocket, and the story could have progressed from there, because that was clever. She goes in for one job, she realised she can turn him, but then she thinks, I can turn him too. I'll keep him and turn him. Genius. I've never seen anything like that.
I love 4D chess.
I've never seen anything like that in any story. And then now Evie's on the front foot because she doesn't trust this Mr. Smith. We could have the story progress as a story goes on.
Yeah.
We don't need any of this flashback shit. But with the way the story is, I just don't get it. I don't get this time skipping, flipping, flopping shit. Time skips are amateurish, uncreative writing. If you cannot carry the narrative without the use of time skips, either don't write or use my favourite, the POV. When you write a POV story, you have multiple characters and whatnot, and it's very easy to carry that narrative along. What do you think of the POV, Joseph? The point of view. I mean, it's my favourite category. But yeah, what do you think of point of views? I'd rather that. I think I'd rather that than time skips, because then we can get into 2, 3, even 4's a bit much, but 3 characters.
If you're George R. R. Martin,
you can really get into the personality of 3 characters, and then you can want them to meet up. They just missed. Why don't these guys meet up and fight or something?
And you can have the same kind of variety that you try to have with a time skip, but you can have more of it because it's a different character. But you're
actually time skipping in a way. You want to really keep them around the same sort of time frame or whatnot. But you can really do something.
What I would say is that here is an issue that I run into when I'm writing, and an issue that I've always found I've run into with POVs is that it's being written by the same person. So you need to be conscious that you want to convey different personalities, which may sound like a silly thing, it may sound like a trivial thing, but because I have the same writing style, whoever I am, when I write different POVs, sometimes, and in the past, they've turned out sounding like the same person. So you don't really get the variety. So that's something you have to be aware of.
That's fair enough. And I also thought of just a bad side to a POV as you were speaking. Not that I wasn't listening, but I was. So the bad side to a POV is that they're going to live. Because if you kill them off, the chapter's done.
They'll live to the end of the chapter.
But also, we knew Evie was not going to die anyway. So
they never do. The female main character never does. They never do.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying, though.
Yeah.
It's a plot device supposed to enhance the story. If it feels like it hamstrings the story, it's like...
Joseph, this story could have been very good,
Bro,
we could have had a
We
play games sort of vibe, in the mystery.
Just bring back we play games.
We just read it again. We just read it again and re-record it. I actually, you know what? Next week, when we read our books, I might just finish our books and then go and read that again. Because it was really good. It was really good.
That's definitely one of my favourite books that we've read. That was such a good book, We Play Games.
Yeah, I might have to read that again, actually. It was quite good.
The only complaint I had.
Ending.
Ben didn't get away. Ben should just got away.
Fair enough if you don't get away, but don't get caught like that.
Do you know what I mean?
Where
Just
you
caught going to the airport because someone ran his plate, ran his name through it. Anyway, this is not the video. But
it's not the video. We'll go back to that.
We go back to that. Yeah. Pause this video right now. Go watch our review of We Play Games.
Yeah. We still get views for that, you know. And that was
bloody hope
how
so.
long ago was that? That was when we filmed downstairs, wasn't it?
Crazy. That must have been months.
So what you're saying is we have to shoot it again.
Yeah. Oh. No complaints here. Still got my notes.
I still got. I was gonna say.
Immediately after the revelation that Evie Porter is actually Luca Marino, a girl who we presume is hiding more than a government name, we get what is possibly the best literary plot device in the history of literature, a bloody time skip. Okay, it's not a time skip, it's a flashback. So a backwards time skip. So the same fucking thing. Yeah. It's the same bloody thing. I'm starting to think that I'm the one who doesn't know what's what, because time skips really do seem to be the flavour of the century. I look at time skips as similar to writing "and it was all a dream" at the end of a story. It's like such a cheap way to add something.
If you're going to time skip, it's got to be a very, very good reason, given the fact that every story has a time skip nowadays. Yep. If I'm an upcoming writer, I'm looking at Frida McFadden. I'm looking at Rebecca Yarros.
She's a criminal.
I'm looking at Rebecca Yarros. I'm looking at Sarah J. Maas. I'm looking at this, that, and I'm looking at that.
Frida McFadden, she has the same three things in all of her stories. She has a time skip. Yeah. She has the twist upon twist upon twist at the end. She has too many characters.
I'm looking at John Mars. I'm looking at all these very pop. I'm looking at Richard Osman. I'm looking at all these, up and coming or established authors, and then time skip. I say, you know what? We're not doing that. We're gonna go back to the basics. And what do you know, right? Films are a billion-dollar industry. Films do not utilize time skips. Yeah. And remember, films are conveying a story just like books are conveying a story. Yeah. So there's a way to create a narrative without these time skips, and I don't know why they feel like they have to do it. I don't understand it.
I feel like we should start our stories where they begin. So I don't want to see 3 months earlier. I don't want to see 10 years earlier. I don't want to see,
Unless it's a good reason.
Bro, what is a good reason as well? What is
exactly?
Good reason?
Well, that's where the creativity comes in.
Exactly. That's your job.
So yeah, exactly. The main story plot makes no sense. It's a good idea, but the execution lets it down. Evie Porter makes a fake identity for herself, but when the identity gets framed for murder, she finds that she is stuck as Evie Porter. Despite her claims, the police pull out passports and job profiles dating back 10 years, proving that she is, in fact, Evie Porter. The problem I have with this is a passport isn't the only way to ID somebody. You have dental records, birth certificates, credit cards. I mean, forget all of that. She should have original documents somewhere. Like, for example, her passport of her real identity, for example. One thing that I did like was the villain, Mr. Smith. He's a bad boy. The way it unfolded, that he used fake Luca like a pawn. He was like to Evie, did you not think I would have a contingency plan?
Of course.
And then he made the ultimate play and sacrificed Luca like a pawn.
Of course. As a pawn. Not like a pawn. As a pawn.
I still don't understand why the story took so long to get started, though. The first half of the book was a slow burner, and it just was not necessary. It was like the main story was catching up. The main story was marking time for the flashbacks to catch up, so that we know what the hell is going on.
But guess what? If there wasn't flashbacks, we wouldn't have needed to kill time. So
exactly.
We're going into Luca Marino 10 years earlier. What's it? Regina Hale 10 years earlier. Wendy Wallace 10 years earlier. And I'm just like, bro, we don't need to be doing all. Who is Amy Holder? Who is that? Who's George? Who is this? Obviously, we know George is. But I'm like, who are these characters that we're bringing these characters in for essentially no reason? I just feel like the story lacks substance to it, and
the story could have been so good. It could have been.
I thought it was going to be good.
I really did, and it's funny because this was on my list to read. I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, and some reviews said, and I thought, how can this be bad? How could it be bad?
That's crazy because normally it's the bestsellers that you bring them on, and I'm like, man.
No. Some reviews, obviously. Look, with reviews, they're always going to couldn't get bad.
Yeah, of course.
But I like to look at the bad ones, and they were like,
The bad ones are probably more informative than the good ones, isn't it?
I don't know, but it's something. I like to go on the bad reviews. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if it's wrong, but I like to go on the bad
I think they're probably more informative than the good ones, to be fair, because the good ones will be like, oh, it was good. I couldn't put it down.
5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. Couldn't put it down. It was amazing. And then the bad ones will actually say what they thought was bad about it. So
yeah, but then again, we play games, which is one of the best books we've read. You go on to the 1-star reviews, and someone's gonna say, "Oh, it's not believable." Oh,
yeah, of course.
So you know, what I'm saying
the bestseller books are flipping, Court of Thorns and Roses.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. So Evie is literally Black Widow. It's crazy that you said Natasha Romanoff because I literally had the exact same.
I know, right?
She's literally Black Widow. She's a con artist / espionage agent in the employ of the shady Mr. Smith, who is given targets to get close to, investigate, and sabotage. Her talents go beyond lies and deception, as we see when she infiltrates the hotel room with Amy Holder, lights the room on fire, and murders her. She's clearly very capable of murder, so the appearance of Luca Marino should not have been a problem. Just ask her to help you with your makeup and then drown that bitch in the toilet. As it turns out, such heinous acts were unnecessary, as Luca Marino dies in a car crash, and I'm left wondering why she was even in the bloody book in the first place.
That's a good point.
Why was Amy Holder in the book in the first place?
That's a good point, yeah, exactly.
So I was literally like, why was she even there? Because like, when I read the blurb, it was like, a woman arrives with the knowledge that you've always been trying to bear. So you think Luca Marino is going to be like, blackmailing her throughout the house? She just dies.
Yeah.
Because George used her as a pawn or whatever, but like, I'm thinking she was in the blurb. Why was you in the blurb if you're a totally unimportant
You had one
character?
scene.
You had one scene. Yeah. And your one scene was you pretending to be the main character.
Yeah, exactly.
This is bloody ridiculous. I was literally like, she should have just drowned her in the toilet. We would have loved to see,
Jazza, this book could have been good,
You know, when we watch Avengers, you see Black Widow on some unscrupulous shit, doing some crazy level.
Man said, what, legs around the man's neck
and
face
she loves
and all
that
of
move. She loves that move.
They love it too.
The scissors.
They love it too. They're like,
she loves scissoring.
They're like, oh no, stop, please. Stop, please, stop.
Yeah, no,
stop.
100%.
She's like,
if you're a security guard there, and you're guarding Black Widow, and you're like, listen, I hope she's
like this, Jesse.
around my neck. Do you know what I mean? Take me.
I surrender.
Put his legs on your neck. And like, oh. Facts.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I read that one. I'm over halfway through the book, and the present day story is only just slowly starting to get interesting. I like that there's layers of complexity to the story. So first of all the characters are fleshed out quite nicely. We have Evie, Ryan, Rachel, Mr. Smith, George, Devon, and that's pretty much it. All the characters have their own personalities and whatnot, but what I especially liked is the dynamic between two main characters, Evie and Ryan. The way they had to navigate their relationship knowing that they both keep secrets from each other.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting because most people like to say, you can't have a relationship without trust. And whilst I don't know if that's actually true, but it's interesting to see the literal manifestation of said relationship without trust. But what does that mean anyway, Joseph, when a woman says, you can't have a relationship without trust? And is it true, do you think?
You can't have a relationship without trust.
You can't have a relationship without trust. If there's no trust, there's no relationship. What does that mean, and do you think it's true?
I think it's true, but I also think that when women say you can't have a relationship without trust, they mean you can't have a relationship if I don't know where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. That's what they mean. That's actually
a good point. But what does that mean though?
I mean, look.
No. Not what does that mean? What does it mean, like when they say you can't have a relationship without trust? Why not? Is what I'm asking.
Why not in terms of what I think, or why not in terms of what they think?
Why can't you have a relationship without trust?
If you don't trust your girl, like, what's going on? Yeah. I think being able to trust your woman.
Look at Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That film.
What, that film where they shot each other up?
Spicy.
And shot up the whole house?
Spicy.
Nah, listen, spicy
when it come down to it,
spicy was one word to describe it.
They were blasting the walls away, and then he blasted her back away.
He blasted her back off. You know,
but I mean, I think
we're
going to the extreme. But just because you don't trust her, that doesn't mean she's necessarily doing something.
No, of course not.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course
so
not.
Trust isn't the be-all and end-all, surely.
Look, I think your partner, you should be able to trust.
That's not...
Your closest life partner.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm saying that just because you don't trust her, that doesn't mean she's doing anything that she's not supposed to be doing.
No, I'm not saying that either.
So for us to say that a relationship doesn't work without trust, technically speaking, we're chatting shit.
Not necessarily, because if you don't trust your partner, regardless of whether they're doing something or not, it's going to poison what you have.
Well,
your mistrust is going to poison.
You're going to allow it to poison what you have. Not that it's going to, as if you are not in control, surely.
Well, maybe you're not equipped to be in a relationship then, if you don't trust your partner who's not doing anything. But the same way, there's not trust in your relationship, which does poison what you have.
I think you could even allow trust to poison the well. Even if you, exactly. So when we say things like, "Oh, if you don't trust them, it's gonna poison the well," you could trust somebody, but still think, "Oh well, he's not with me. Oh well, he's put his phone on do not disturb. I trust him, but he puts his phone on do not disturb, and now I'm thinking, do you get what I'm saying?"
Well, you don't trust him then.
I don't know. I think if you put it this way. If we did a trust exercise right now, and you went like this and fell back,
fell backwards,
there would still be you trust me. I'm sure you do.
Even if you let me conk my head on the floor.
No, I wouldn't let you conk your head. But let's say I would catch, you would still feel the. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we can trust somebody, but is there a percentage that we trust somebody? Is there a percentage where we always don't trust somebody?
All right, let me give you a two-pronged response. One, I think if in that scenario, when I fall backwards and I'm still feeling like, it's not because I don't trust you, it's because I don't always fall backwards every single day of my life. So it's something that I avoid because I know there's danger there. Secondly, what was I going to say secondly?
Well, the first point is a good point, even though I don't know if it gets you off what I was trying to say, but it's still
I think you're trying to ask, are we indoctrinating people when we say relationships need trust? I think that's what you're really asking. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you are wrong. I don't know if relationships need trust, but I think relationships benefit from trust, but can a relationship work without trust is what I'm asking.
Okay, that's a much better
way which is still the same thing you're saying. I think a relationship under certain scenarios, under certain circumstances, can work without trust.
What, like neither one trusts the other, but they still work?
Well, what does that mean? I don't think a person can think, I think this person's going to kill me in my sleep, and it work. But there's different ways of not trusting someone.
Yeah, of course. You don't have to go to the extreme.
So I might say I don't trust. If I had 20 quid in my wallet, I might not trust you because you're gonna spend it on smack.
So how come you're allowed to go to the extreme, but I can't go to the extreme? Smack, you know, it's been spent on anything. If I take it, it doesn't matter what I spend it on. I'm still proven untrustworthy.
It matters that. If you spend it on smack, you might
versus sweets. It matters.
You might spend it on smack, and I might not trust you because you can't help yourself. But that doesn't necessarily... Okay, smack, you probably can't have a relationship with a smack user.
Yeah, like I said, you don't have to go to the extremes. Yeah. To make your point, you could.
But yeah, no, the point, they might spend it on gambling, on the lottery or whatnot, and you know that doesn't mean you can't be in a relationship with them. It just means you can't leave your money lying around until they win. They win. Then if they win the jackpot,
boy, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, what?
It's different, isn't it? Yeah. I heard a question the other day when it was literally like, if you win the lottery, you win an £11 million lottery, and your friend's there, and he's like, "We're rich." What do you say?
I said, we.
You know what I mean?
I don't speak French. We.
Man thinks he's Venom, but we. Nah.
Yeah, nah.
We're not Venom. We're not French. Jesus.
Right.
Man said Nintendo what?
Said Joseph. Who's Joseph?
Man said Nintendo what? Nintendo Wii? No, that's crazy.
Let me see my last one.
Hold on. I've got at least 3.
How did that happen?
3, my lord. I'm going to make a prediction. Ryan is going to turn out to be the real-world alter ego of Mr. Smith. Now, I hope this prediction doesn't come true, in fact. I would be sorely disappointed. It would be the most obvious, most bland, monochromatic, lemon and herb excuse for a plot twist ever!
Oh, no.
And I absolutely expect her, author, to take the easy route and do it. So do it. You know you want to. I was so convinced.
There's nothing like baiting the author into doing something they've already decided to do.
I was so convinced she was going to do this. I was so convinced. I was like, it's right there.
All right, well, let's hear what I've got to say then.
God.
This is my last point. I'm going to be honest. I suspected Ryan from the beginning. Why did Evie not suspect him at all? She was literally put onto him by her boss, Mr. Smith. I like the fact that we got a fake reveal where for a chapter we believed that Ryan could actually be Mr. Smith. But then what does Evie do? She ditches him. So basically, she was heading back to her hotel room where she overhears Ryan talking to somebody where she puts 2 and 2 together and figures he must be Mr. Smith. The problem is, she ditches him. Can you imagine the one time she got ahead and has the advantage? She ditches him.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense for the story, does it?
Bro, she ditched him for lying to her or whatever, or hiding things from her. She's been lying from the beginning of the book. Since they met, she's been lying.
Also, what also makes no sense is the way that Ryan got caught in the first place. The way Mr. Careful Mr. Smith just happened to blunder away his identity. It was so uncreative. It was basically shoehorned in. So yes, well done for you for realising it was, he wasn't Mr. Smith, he was wrong. But
yeah, of course.
Well done for getting there from the beginning because I didn't see that coming. I did wonder why the author was steering us away from that and not looking at Ryan at all whatsoever, which was the tap-in. But I didn't expect it. I didn't think he was going to be Mr. Smith. You thought he was.
I thought he was the obvious choice. I thought he was going to be, he's Mr. Smith, and then they fall in love or whatever, and, they live their days out on his money and, all the kind of shit that women like to read. Because at the end of the day, this woman wants to sell books, not write books.
That's actually a good point, isn't it?
Legit.
They want to sell books, not write books.
If they can do both, they'll do both. But they want to sell books.
But if they had to pick one,
if they have to pick one, 100%, we know what they're picking. We know what we would pick. I know what I'd pick.
So is that normal though? You want to sell books
in a capitalist market? It's an intelligent.
I'm not
decision.
talking about that. I'm just saying desire-wise.
Desire-wise.
So when you want to be a writer, you obviously want to be a successful writer.
Yeah.
Even though you don't say that, you say I want to be a writer. You want to be a successful writer, but surely a successful writer is someone who sells books.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you want to be a good writer. No one says, I want to be a good writer.
It's harder to define. Successful writer is a lot easier to define than good writer.
Because it's successful writer. It's just someone that sells.
Do you sell or not? Do you know what I mean? Exactly. Like, good writer is like, we can go through the whole, talk all day and get nowhere on that. But successful writer is J.K. Rowling. Is she successful or not?
So is someone saying they want to be a good writer because they want to be able to define success, or is it because of the money?
I think the money is going to come into it, but what I think about money is that if you want to make money, you shouldn't be a writer because there's not a lot of it going around for writers. There's a lot of writers in the world, and not a lot of them are making money. There's some of them making a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's some making a lot of money, but there's not a lot making some money.
Jeez, listen, cleaning up,
bro. There's some making a lot of money, but there ain't a lot making some money. So with writing, I think your perception of what you want to be as a writer changes over time. When I was little, when I was 7, I wanted to make a difference in a child's life the way Enid Blyton or J.K. Rowling or Michael Carroll or Andy Briggs made a difference to my life growing up.
Enid Blyton,
Enid Blyton.
That
Listen,
was
I bet you don't.
Chair and all
I bet,
that,
yeah, of course.
Oh
back in the 40s or whatever. I bet you don't know some of the other authors I said though. Andy Briggs, Hero.com. Remember that? Michael Carroll. You know, the new heroes. Remember that?
But then the wishing chair and
the faraway tree. The faraway tree.
Those were
core memories.
Goated.
Core memories.
I might have to order them books again.
12 O'Clock Tales.
I don't remember. That was the third one. Was that the yellow one?
The yellow one. O'Clock Tales or whatever. Yeah, listen.
Hell, man. I'm gonna have to.
Was it Brer Rabbit? Brer Rabbit. Come on.
Oh my god.
Listen, let me cook. Let me cook.
What was it called? The faraway tree.
The faraway tree. The wishing chair. The O'Clock Tales. Listen, let me cook.
Oh my.
Core memories unlocked, innit?
Remember, I bossed you on them books.
Bro, you bossed me on every single book ever. Hero, what's it? The new hero. The only book I think I bossed you on was 39 Clues was definitely mine.
Yeah.
And Hero.com was mine, and I remember why. But those are the only two. So
the new heroes. Henderson's Boys.
Huh?
Did you boss me on Henderson's Boys?
Because
we had Cherub and Henderson's Boys.
I might have done, but I think I accidentally bossed you on Henderson's Boys.
Yeah, I think one of those books you pulled it out. You were like,
and then I'll try to put it back or whatever.
It was East Street. Whatever one was on East Street.
What was that Suffolk Library?
Suffolk Library. You went. You went, nah, and I went, wait, hold on.
Yeah,
let me
cook.
said,
let me cook. Exactly. But what I remember for a fact is that the new heroes, remember the Quantum Prophecy, Sakara, Absolute Power, them kind of books? You defo bust me on those because you had the Quantum Prophecy. I don't know where you got it from, but you had it and you was reading it. Yeah, bro.
They went on adventures, you know.
When I'm talking about Faraway Tree, the land of take what you want.
But yeah, we need to get back.
What, Moonface? The land of take what you want?
Oh my god.
See, listen, let me cook, bro. Let me cook. But
there was a green book.
That was the Faraway Tree, and then the blue one was the wishing chair. And then
I remember they had to have a
frock
to go down a slide, otherwise they'd burn up there, whatever.
Listen, remember 5 on Treasure Island? Listen.
That was a different thing.
That was a different thing. Yeah. But that was like the famous 5 kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
But yeah, no. Listen, there was a load of books from back in the day. But when I was young, I wanted to be a writer from when I was 7 years old. I remember I wrote my first story at 7 years old, and I just wanted to.
When I was 7 years old.
Do you know what I mean? Listen, when I was from back then, all I wanted to do was just do what authors did for me, you know. And then when you grow up, it becomes a different thing. Like, maybe you go into journalism because you want to be successful. And it's like, some writers feel...
Got to pay the bills.
Bro, there's bills you have to pay, you know. When you're 7, there's no bills you have to pay. You got all these ideas about shit you want to do. No one gives a shit about what you want to do. When you're 20, 25, 30, you got bills to pay, mate. So, at a certain level, sometimes people feel like they have to make a decision about whether they want to be successful or not. And it's like, if I've spent my whole life writing... my only choice is be successful or not. But I think it's valid.
Anyway.
It's valid her saying or her writing a certain way because it sells. It's valid. Like, who are you to tell her she should choose to be broke? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's valid if you choose to do what sells.
Well, it makes sense at least.
It makes sense. We know why she did it. A clever twist that I feel was wasted. In another flashback, kiss my teeth, Evie worked under the alias of Wendy Wallace, assigned to have the head coach of a football program, Mitch Cameron, fired from his job. During this, she discovers that Mitch was most likely the client who hired her, and that he wanted out of his contract. This kind of political intrigue could actually have been the cornerstone of the whole book. That could have been the biggest and best and baddest plot twist ever. The guy that is the victim, he could have been the victim for the whole book and at the end turned out to be the fucking client that hired her. That would have been the craziest. I would have loved it. Trying to get out of his own contract. I think that could have been a fantastic plot twist and they Morty's mind blowers it. They literally did Morty's mind blowers on it. They just wasted it for just the sake of...
So what do you think is the more interesting story? Was it the story, present day story, or was it the origin story?
There was like, was there 5 origin story chapters? There wasn't enough. There was like 5 chapters of origin story out of 25 chapters.
Yeah, but there was the whole Amy thing, and that was the main plot.
I suppose, to be honest. But that's bad. If it was the previous plot line, that's bad. Because like I said, it was 5 or 6 chapters at maximum.
I don't know how many chapters it was, but as I said, there was the Amy plot, and that could have worked as a present day plot.
Yeah.
To try and catch Mr. Smith.
It wasn't necessary for it to be a previous 10 years ago.
Yeah, we didn't need
It was
to.
like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, and then there was all kinds of...
Yeah,
I didn't think it was necessary.
I ain't got no more.
Yeah, I know, right? I got one. Okay, so my prediction was wrong. It was George, the mysterious employee of Mr. Smith, who was the real Mr. Smith. And secretly, this entire time, Evie was trying to take Smith down, aided by none other than Amy Holder, alive and well. So after the Tate job, where Smith had attempted to have Evie killed, she had gone to Amy and the two had plotted to double-cross him, so the hotel room where Evie set fire to was an elaborate part of a long con. Now, I love a long con, but it's like...
You've purposely hid that from us.
Exactly.
For no reason.
When you watch,
for the reason that,
when you watch Sherlock, you watch Hustle. Hustle was the perfect example.
Yeah, because you see things.
You see things, and then when they go back,
you really see.
This is where you should use flashbacks. I've just realised.
Exactly.
This is what you was talking about.
So this
is where you should use flashbacks. They go back and they show you things you've already seen, but they show you the context.
They show you
of what you're...
the POV.
Exactly.
A different POV.
They zoom in on shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're seeing what you missed, and this is where the value of it comes in. So if you want to give me a long con story, you can't not show me half the con. Obviously, I haven't seen it because you didn't show me it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. So this girl's in the fucking flat with Amy, busting.
Do you know what I mean?
Amy that we thought was dead, just busting convos, and she's moving like, oh, what?
All of that.
I got you lot.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, you didn't.
You didn't show us any of this. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So it wasn't really a murder mystery. It wasn't really a long con.
I still think it was more refreshing to read a story like that than some of the other stories we've read in recent times.
Well, look, refreshing doesn't mean good, but I agree.
It's not bad, though.
Listen.
The story...
In my opinion, 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. I don't think you can realistically give it more than 2 out of 5.
Really? So you're saying that A Court of Thorn of Roses, which is 2 out of 5 is the same as that?
If I am, then it means that the out of 5 scale is flawed.
Well, we know that. It's been flawed. What did we read last week?
Huh?
What did we read last week? It's too long ago.
I can't remember yesterday.
I was going to say, I can't remember today. But yeah, listen. We're going to end with quote of the day. I had my quote.
I did 2 last week.
Off the cuff. Nah, I'm not doing off the cuff. Yeah, I didn't think
I'm
you
not
could.
doing
I didn't think you could.
I'm not doing off the cuff. That's a bit unfair to be fair. No, if you're doing one that's prepared.
That's exactly what a loser would say.
If you're doing one that's prepared, no, that's not true. But if you're doing one that's prepared, I'm doing
you
one
would
off the
know.
cuff, obviously mine's gonna be.
No, there's no. I'm not giving you no.
If you're doing one that's prepared.
Till next time.
In the middle of my sentence, you know. Listen, you're not seeing heaven.